Shalom, I'm Rabbi Stephen Sachs. God defends his defender, Pinchas5780. Often when somebody introduces you to someone else, they may say, this is so-and-so, the son or daughter of so-and-so. But they're usually not going to say, this is so-and-so, the son or daughter of so-and-so, the grandson or granddaughter of so-and-so. But in the case of Pinchas, that's exactly what God does when he refers to him. He refers to him as Pinchas, ben, the son of Eleazar, his father Eleazar, ben, the son of Aharon, the son of Aaron. In other words, he's telling us not only who Pinchas' father is Eleazar, but also his grandfather Aharon. The question is, of course, why? According to the Talmud and Sanhedrin, the people were furious at Pinchas for killing Zimri, the prince of Shimon. Zimri was having relations with a Midianite woman, Cosby, right in front of the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting. And it was an outrageous sin. Moshe should have killed the sinners himself, but he froze in the moment, and Pinchas picked up a spear and actually killed the sinners. However, the people said, how dare Pinchas, lowly Pinchas, kill a prince of Israel? Zimri, he was a prince of the tribe of Shimon. How dare he? They said Pinchas's other grandfather, not Aharon, but his other grandfather was Putiel, which the Talmud identifies as Yitro. And Putiel means he who fattens sheep. I'm saying, what in the world does that even mean? He who fattens sheep. It's a way of saying he was an idolater. He fattened sheep so that before he gave the sheep to his god in the sacrifice, he was fattening them up, so he was sending up to the gods not a thin cut of meat, but a nice plump cut of meat. So the people are saying Pinchas's grandfather on the other side was an idolater, and he has the chutzpah to kill a prince of Israel. However, God is not having any of that. Pinchas is the man who turned back God's anger against Israel. Before Pinchas killed the sinner, God was killing the people in a plague for their outrageous sin of worshiping Baal Peor and engaging in this orgy with the Moabite and Midianite woman. So therefore God reminds the people and says, Pinchas here, he's the son of Eleazar, but he's also the grandson of none other than the Kohen Hagadol himself, Aaron. This is not somebody who doesn't have yichus. To the contrary, he's the grandson of the high priest. But even more important than being the high priest, Aharon was the Rodef Shalom, the people's pursuer of peace. So what it's really telling us is that when Pinchas killed Zimri, he was pursuing peace just like his grandfather pursued peace. Yes, he had to engage in a violent act, but this one violent act turned away God's anger, stopped the plague, and saved many, many more lives. And when Pinchas was elevated to the rank of Kohen because of his act, we're told that he's not simply made a Kohen, we're told he's given a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace. In other words, his act created peace between God and Israel. God was no longer angry at Israel. When you think about the job of a Kohen, a priest, that's really what his job is to make peace between God up here and Israel down here. When Israel sins, the Kohen is to lead the people in doing teshuvah, repentance, which comes from the word shuv, to return. They return to God and restore the relationship. The relationship becomes whole again. Think of the word shalom in Hebrew. It comes from shalem, which means to be whole or to complete. So by leading the people into Shuvah, they're repairing the relationship between God and Israel. That was Aaron's job, Aharon's job, and that's what Pinchas's job was as well. Now, however, there is a big irony here. While Aharon was very good at being a Rodef Shalom, or pursuer of peace, a couple weeks ago we read about when after Korach's revolt, when more of Bnei Israel was dying because they actually supported Korach, Aharon ran over and lit the Ketoret, the incense, and God stopped the plague. He made peace between God and Israel. But however, if we look at another incident, we see that Aharon was not successfully able to make peace between God and Israel. I'm talking about the Egel, the calf, the golden calf. This is the case where Aharon actually failed to make peace between God and Israel. The people were running riot, they descended into a mob, they may have been having an orgy according to the sages as well around this calf. And what did Aharon do? He didn't stop the people. Now, the rabbis point out in the Talmud that he may have actually attempted to. You look in the Torah, it says he asked the people to give him their gold to build the calf. And the Talmud says he was probably thinking to himself, well, I could ask him to give me the gold. They're not really going to give it to me, because who wants to give up their precious possessions? It's like if I walked up to you and said, give me $100, I don't actually expect you to give me $100. But the people actually gave him the gold, and he got stuck, and he wound up having to make the calf. But the point of the matter is, he should have taken a more principled stand and simply said to the people, no, we cannot build this calf. I know you're afraid. I know Moshe is up on the mountain. We don't have him, but we're not going to do this. So now the question is, why did Pinchas succeed in taking action when action was needed, where Aharon failed? Well, I'm going to create my own modern midrash and give credit to Aharon. I'm going to assume here that Aharon was able to admit his failure to his children and his grandchildren, and they learned from his mistake. He may very well, sitting around the Shabbos table, said, if I had it to do again, I would have taken a much firmer stand against building the Egel. Instead of asking people for gold and hoping they really wouldn't have given it to me, I would have simply said, there's a right and wrong, and this is wrong. We're not going to do this. And young Pinchas, sitting at his feet, heard the story, and when it was his time to act in the moment, Pinchas was able to pull the trigger, or in this case, pull the spear, and kill the sinners, and restore peace between God and Israel. It reminds us that parents should not be afraid to admit their mistakes to their children. A lot of parents think that if they can admit a mistake to their children, it makes them sound weak. On the contrary, it shows your children you have the courage to admit when you're wrong, and you're really providing them with a gift. Not only will they learn from their own lessons, but you're also giving them an opportunity to learn. Not only will they learn from their own mistakes, but you're giving them the ability to learn from your mistakes as well, so they don't have to make those mistakes. Don't be afraid to give your children that gift. Shabbat Shalom.